Good evening, everyone. It is 6 p.m., November 25th, 2025. I'm going to call this City Council meeting to order. Please stand with me to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to do roll call, and I see we have Councilman Loy online. Yes? Councilman Loy? Well, I haven't heard a response. We'll just hold it for a moment. I'll come back. Councilwoman Kesty?
Present.
Councilwoman Diamond?
Present.
Councilman Henderson?
Present.
Perfect. Councilman Cock? Here. Councilman Burns?
Present.
Councilman Lavaca?
Here.
And again, Councilman Loy. See there. Now he's gone away, I see.
Here, I'm here.
Oh, perfect. Okay, there you go. All right. We have approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, Madam Mayor.
Madam Mayor, I'll second.
So we have a motion by Councilman Lavaca, second by Councilwoman Diamond. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda, items 1 through 7. Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Do we have?
Second. Second motion.
So we have a motion by Councilman Burns, second by Councilman Lavaca. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Motion carries. On to City Administrator Report.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson and Council. We have Bill Bullock on this evening to share a concept of small projects that was brought up by Councilmember Kesty and Councilmember Allen to our attention. And so as an idea, and we've embraced that and kind of run with it. And so Bill's going to present some more material on it and thoughts going forward.
Okay. Thank you. So this is a concept I've done in some other jurisdictions as well, although not necessarily this formally. But I guess I'll start off by describing what a small works project is. Small works project are projects that are under $350,000, and this is by state statute. And it allows you to go through an abbreviated bidding process where you can select 3 to 5 contractors. You can select more if you like to bid on a particular project and then go forward with something that doesn't necessarily require outside funding. And that's basically what some of these are. So as I understand it, we have about $260,000 remaining in the 1590 funds, but these could also be something that council can choose to use their as a special projects fund or the reserve portions of the reserve fund that are very strategic, but capital infrastructure-based, more permanent type projects. And so, and then the next thing that I'd like to do with this particular project is plan them for about 4 years out. There's no reason to go to 6 to 10 years because these things can change every year too based on a particular need. But prioritize these out. And so, like for instance, the first set is going to be something we can hopefully just accomplish this summer, regardless of which one it is. It can be a combination of a few projects or a single kind of larger small works project. And then some of these types of projects I've already programmed into the 6-year. Those are some of those citywide projects at the top of the 6-year TIP that fix a safety concern or an ADA concern or something like that. But this would go a little further, include projects that go a little further than that as well. So I've only had a week to put this together. So this is kind of a sample of what this would look like. I gave a handout to everybody called Small Works Project Priorities. And then if there's other projects we have that go beyond 4 years, those would just simply become part of a project pool that we could draw from to do the next set. But I've split this spreadsheet out into transportation, parks, facilities, and stormwater, and then a large project. So if we get a suggestion that's a larger project than what a small works can be accomplished, I want to keep track of those. And maybe those belong on the 6-year tip or on a CIP for parks or storm or something like that. And so there's lots of blank spaces on here because I want it to be expandable and whatnot. But most transportation projects that fall under this type of a category will be, usually they're like sidewalk style projects. Every city has lots of gaps in their sidewalk system, and we certainly have our own share of gaps. The projects suggested by Councilman Henderson and the other one suggested by Councilwoman Kesty are both sidewalk gap projects in nature. And then a lot of these projects actually have been on Nathan's wish list, or Nathan keeps a pool of projects, kind of like I'm suggesting, and so I drew on that to populate this. And so, there's various ADA, 2024, we prepared 49 ADA improvements, and there's still more to have, and they're all listed on our ADA transition plan, but that's also part of what I would draw from. But there's a number of transportation-style projects that we certainly could do. Parks projects, some of these are projects that have already kind of been programmed for maintenance, like the roof on the senior center and the roof on the, I think there's one for the cemetery. And some of these projects, if we expend this type of money on those, then we simply use those allocated maintenance dollars that were planned on something other maintenance we need. And we have no shortage of maintenance projects on facilities and parks and things like that. But this gives you an idea. One of the things I think we've talked about with council, there's a concept to switch the ball fields at Riverfront Park with the soccer fields at Winnie Hauser, because soccer fields are much easier to prepare for a flood event and not get damaged. So that's the top one on parks, which is we think about $220,000. These are also rough estimates. We haven't really vetted them. But that would be a good example of a larger one-time expenditure that would benefit maintenance. And then a lot of these are here designed to benefit maintenance, so we don't have those temporary heavy maintenance solutions that are heavy maintenance requirements, that type of thing. And others are new needs that we've had to develop over the last couple of years, like potentially a generator for this building that would power the whole building. Right now, the generator we have only powers, I think, the fire department and maybe police. And so there's different values in those things, and I'd like to, and I'll keep working on the list too, but in January timeframe, at the pleasure of the council, I would like to kind of have a workshop with council as a way to get everybody together at once in a formal setting, and then talk about how we prioritize stuff. And there's really no wrong answer whether we're prioritizing a transportation thing or a parks thing or a facility thing, because they're all going to be legitimate needs that we need for the city. But it would be good to know what certainly council's thoughts are, and then potentially with at least this $260,000 as a seed money for this, basically use most of that for valid projects potentially this summer. But then create a list so we know if we're going to use reserve funds for it, or if we have extra funds somewhere else that we could legitimately use for this stuff, to kind of start planning at least 1 and 2 years ahead of where we're going to be at. And so it would be nice to be really proactive about this. I mean, and we will still have small works projects throughout the year that we're solving a reoccurring, a new problem that comes up that really needs to be fixed now. Can't have broken toilets in a restroom or something like that. But this will give us kind of a targeted approach to some things that we all agree would benefit the community, and we can use these funds on. And then you always have a certain amount of contingency money scheduled for things that happen in the middle of the year. And sometimes it means we don't do one project and delay it and do something that's immediate need. That's just how we manage the system. But those are what my thoughts are on this. And it would just be a really neat thing to be able to program some of these types of things and do some of the smaller stuff that don't get as much attention as, a formal project from the Transportation Improvement Board or one of the other funding agencies. So open to discussion and thoughts if anybody would like to ask any
Councilman
questions.
Kopp?
Yeah, I just, excuse me, Bill, I want to thank you for your great work on this. I think it's an excellent idea. I thank my fellow council members for coming up with this idea. And so the Small Works roster, I'm familiar with this from Western. They always had a Small Works rotating roster, and then they prioritize them top to bottom. This would be an annual thing, and as you had a little extra money, you could put it in there, right?
Certainly, I think that's what the intent, that's what I've taken the intent to be, to have, and it would be something like the 6-year TIP. We kind of organize it like that. But certainly, yeah, this would be kind of a targeted approach to some key smaller projects. And then we'll always have the opportunistic ones that come up throughout the year that we need to handle. But yeah, just kind of a different approach.
Okay, Councilman Lavaca?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was wondering about I think it's a great idea as well. I think this is definitely something that we can utilize. And there's two questions I had. One, for the park down at Winnie Hauser Riverfront switch out, does that include the price of the land? That was also discussed.
We already own the land.
We own the land, but weren't we going to sell part of it in order to fund for that, or is this compensating for that fund? Or could this be the upfront cost until the land sells or something like that?
Correct.
All
So we could still, that proposal Councilman Lavaca is talking to, I think I brought it forward to council as a good of the order thing. And that's, I would certainly think Nathan has a great idea about selling the piece of that farmland that we just don't use and don't even really have good access to. And then basically that money would still probably go to the Parks Fund, but we could use that money for something else that was advantageous in the city. This would be an alternative way of potentially funding that now, as opposed to going through the process of figuring out, I don't know whether you have to subdivide that off or whether it's already subdivided. I just don't know a lot about it, but then you'd have to go out on the market and sell it. And certainly, I'd recommend we certainly pursue that in the near future because it's not really doing anything for the city right now, and it's kind of an unusable remnant for us, but could benefit the neighboring farmer.
Yeah.
And then that gives us another pot of money to fund something else on or whatever.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest requests I get, not the biggest, but it's definitely amongst the biggest with the parents, is getting more fields ready for the kids. And I think we've tried to do that in the summer times and say we're going to do it, and then a summer goes by and a season, another season. So I would love to see that prioritized at our council meeting in January or heavily discussed to see how could we make that actually become a reality for spring and summer for those parents. The other one was the ARPA funds. Wasn't there money left over from the grant program in that funding, and would that be something that would be able to be used for this Small Works Fund as well? Because there's a couple of things on here that are really appetizing. I'm sure everybody's got some things on there that look appetizing. The sign over at Osborne Park or the ADA sidewalks, things like that. There's a lot of great projects that we can always do around town to improve our community. Is that ARPA funds available like that? Or is it just business?
The ARPA fund is no longer in existence, but we do have a special projects fund. And we had some planned activity or projects for that, but it is worth relooking. We haven't updated that list and revitalized it in a while, so that's definitely something to consider.
And then I believe the strategic fund, the council fund, still has about 260 in it, around there?
I think 200 something.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, great projects, great ideas. I'm glad that you guys brought this forward, and it'd be great to see if we could, pursue that park for summertime. Awesome. Thanks.
Councilwoman Kester?
Thank you. I just wanted to thank you guys for listening and taking this all in and then putting this together. I think it's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of really wonderful projects on here, and I'm looking forward to getting to hammer them out, because when they're small and you've got the money to do it and you can bust it out, everyone will see it, everyone will enjoy it, and thank you very much for doing this.
Okay. And Councilman Loy, I see your mic is on. Did you want to make a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask Bill, remember last spring we got together on Cook Road, just west of that new or east of that new gas station? And you said we were gonna put in a stoplight there for kids to get across the road. What happened to that?
So originally, we were suggesting like a RRFB with a refuge island in the middle, similar to over by Janicki Fields. And my team pointed out to me that if we build that now, we'd likely be pulling it out in 3 to 4 years when we put a signal in there potentially. And so we have this idea, and it just is not quite in the project planning phase, is that when we put to do a initial design of where light poles would go for a signal in that location, and then put up a hawk signal, which is what we have just west of over by Reed Street on Highway 20, and put the poles for the hawk signal use the same foundations that we would use for the mast arms and poles for the permanent traffic signal there, so we don't have to undo anything. We could probably also design it so we're reusing the hawk signal poles as traffic signal poles, so we're not spending about $100,000 in something and undoing it really before we get full use out of it. So that takes a little bit of upfront design, and we have to design a hawk signal anyway. So that's kind of where we're at with that. We sort of rethought it and are trying to make sure we spend the money wisely that we need to put up there in the interim.
Okay, Councilman Burns?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm sorry, the remaining 1590 funds, I'm thinking of the housing funds. What is the other 1590 funding? What am I missing?
I may be, that's what I understood. We had like 260,000 left in 1590 funds, but I may be wrong about the source.
I don't think it's the 1590, that's for the brick and mortar for low income. That's all been spent and it's getting rebuilt up, I believe.
It wouldn't be for this.
It wouldn't be for this kind of a project at all.
Yeah, it was relayed to me that we had $260,000 left in a funding source, and I thought it was 1590.
I
but
think you're
apparently
thinking
wrong.
of,
Strategic
no,
council.
the sale of the Helping Hands Food Bank land that we have
Yep.
allocated $40,000 of that for Helping Hands and Family Promise. Some from our general fund, which would come from the sale of the land, and then some from the 1590 in 1406, if we're getting all our numbers right. But then that leaves 260, and I believe that's probably what you're referring to.
Okay, I was mistaken on the funding source, but really this program would be developed for any funding source available. It may only be parks money or may only be stormwater money or something, but the idea is we'll be able to use available funding sources that come about to put them into real projects. So
Okay.
I misunderstood when I was writing the memo.
You're good.
Councilman-
It just caught up when I looked at it again. I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Cock?
Yeah, just real quick, I've been here long enough, and I was a Little League coach and a soccer coach, and the ball fields, I'm gonna get this right, north of the street at Riverfront, I remember a flood where they were 10 feet deep underwater. So, we're still pretty, even with that switch, I think it's a good idea, we'd still be short on ball fields, so.
Sure.
something to keep
I
in
think the
mind.
way Nathan's looked at this, we could actually, with the configuration of how both those parks are, we could add one extra soccer field and one extra ball field by switching them. But part of the idea is that taking away the frames for the nets for soccer fields are much easier to bring to high ground than all that fencing that you need for a baseball field.
And also the land, I'm gonna try to get this right, just west of the basketball court is higher and pretty flat.
Yeah. One other thing to interject real quick, I just thought of, an example of a small works project we did that just became a need was that RRFB we installed last year on Township. We don't need a formal program to implement those things, but if we can plan a little bit ahead, there's some different things we can do with it. And so that's just an example of something we would typically do traditionally in almost any city, but this will give us a little more focus.
So will have further discussion on this in January, is that what I heard you say?
Yes, ma'am. And I'll also bring it as a subject to the Public Works Committee in January.
Perfect. All right.
Can I ask one
Love it.
more question to finance, if that's all right? Just, so if we use this funding that's part of this public or the small works, and it gets used for the fields, can it be refunded back to the parks if the property in the back sells? Or does that property sale would have to go to Parks and Rec?
I don't think any of those revenue sources are restricted and required to go to any specific fund.
Okay. All right, very good. So anything else under city administrator report? Nothing? All right.
If I could, Mayor Johnson,
Yes? Go ahead. Woody?
Councilman Henderson here.
Oh, Henderson, okay.
Thank you. Really appreciate the work that's gone into this. Mayor Johnson, Charlie, Bill, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to take the money from the sale of that property and reinvest it into our infrastructure. There's been several projects. Me and Councilman Burns have actually talked about a RRFB crosswalk at Jameson Street, other things like that. I'd really enjoy talking more about this in January.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Charlie, what do you?
No, nothing to add.
Okay.
Just mentioning, Councilmember Henderson's he's in the guest area of the audience. We're unable to promote him for whatever reason, but Woody's unmuted him, so he can participate in the meeting.
Okay, good deal. All right, thank you. And he and Loy's name go away, so I don't see them all the time up there. So sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. So just so you know, if I don't see you, I've assumed maybe you've gone away. Moving on to the next item, which is the council members' report. So I will start with Councilman Loy. Do you have a report?
Well, the only thing I have going about 3 weeks, three and a half weeks ago, I collapsed and ended up in the hospital for 3 weeks. So I still don't know what's wrong, but this is my return tonight. Hopefully it'll all go well.
Okay, well, you sound good, so hopefully that's a good sign. All right.
I hope so.
Councilwoman Kesty.
Thank you. Well, we're all wishing you a speedy recovery so you can get back here. But this weekend is a big weekend besides Thanksgiving. We have a lot going on downtown at Shop Small Saturday, and the boys are putting up our Christmas tree in the middle of downtown. Shop Small, and then there's the Woolly Wreath Jubilee at the museum from 4 to 7, and I hope to see everyone there.
Very good. Councilwoman Diamond.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilman Henderson.
Thank you, Mayor. I spoke with Councilman Loy earlier today, and I was very excited to hear that he's doing much better. That's fantastic news. Also, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we're looking forward to seeing the tree up this weekend. I'd like to be there to help, but I'll stand out of the way and let Nate and his boys do their good work. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you. Councilman Cock?
Yes, I also wish you a speedy recovery, Kevin. A couple of things. I attended, it was over a week ago.
Paul, is your mic on?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
A meeting of, along with the mayor, led by the Port of Skagit on the restoration of the hub building. That's an interesting longer-term project. I also attended last week's housing forum at the community center. I learned a lot, and thanks to Tom and the other staff. One thing I noticed in the Skagit Valley Herald that Skagit County has opened winter shelters, so that might be something to put on our website to share that, and also a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, very good. Thank you. Councilman Burns.
Councilman Loy, glad to hear you're feeling a little better, and everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilman Lavaca.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Yes, so I just had one constituent ask about there on the Talcott Road in Township, there's a dip in the asphalt, from what I understand. And so I haven't actually gone over there to check it out, and it's actually right next to the church I go to too, so I should have just walked over there. But I did say that I would say something, so I am saying something, and I'll check it out, take a picture, shoot an email over if it's something that's serious or whatnot too. Besides that, just have a great Thanksgiving. The roundabout over there is still going very good, and I was wondering about the porta potty that was there. My wife was asking me why it was still there, but obviously we're going to be putting street pools up and stuff like that. We don't want to unload and load it, high cost. So that's basically what I told her and some neighbors. So awesome. Thank you very much.
Just a couple of things. Councilman Cock already mentioned it. We did go to the Housing Forum Tuesday night. Councilman Burns was there.
That's the other one.
Oh, okay. So Tuesday night, though, we were there. You and I were, along with Nicole and I think Tom. And that was very good. And they brought in a speaker who actually talked about different ways to put in 30% housing. And they also discussed, which I asked Tom to bring in the video because I thought it was actually well done, how building actually decreases the cost of rent and also housing. So quite simple. It's pretty cute the way that it was done, but anyway, so we'll have them bring that forward. And then Thursday night was was the our housing commission. I was not there. I was at my grandson's concert, so I did not make it. But I know that it was very good and it was well attended, and there's a questionnaire that's come out of it. So anyway, I hope we have that online. So moving on then to public comment. I'm going to open it up to public comment. Yes, Joe. It is 6:26. Please give your name and how you are affiliated with the city, and keep it to 3 minutes.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, that timer's set to 5.
Yeah. Joe, is your blue light on? Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I got it on.
Okay.
All righty. Well, what I'll do is it's 8:27, it's 6:27, okay, good. Joe Kunzler here. I emailed the council and the mayor earlier today at about 4 o'clock. A proposed resolution asking the Skagit Transit Board place on the December agenda, placing 2 rider representatives on the board. I also have offered Mayor Johnson to be your proxy for free, and I haven't heard back, so I figured I better get my ugly mug down here because we're starting to run out of time. The long story, the short version of the long story is that this year the state legislature decided to allow transit boards that want to have 2 rider representatives on the board in addition to all the current elected officials. The thinking is that most elected officials have to go to all these federated boards like the PUD, housing, drug treatment, law enforcement oversight, and transit, so they aren't able to ride the transit, so they need transit representation. And I'm willing to do that. In fact, I'm eager to do that. I walked through the rain halfway across town to get here. And I think that on the board, what I would provide the people, it's not just a rider experience, but also advocacy to keep to get the transit on the right fiscal track. We're hearing disturbing reports that the agency is in some financial trouble. Recently had to cancel electric buses for diesel, even though we've got Congressman Rick Larson fighting hard for grants, and other agencies that got those similar grants went to hybrid. Another matter of concern, and I don't want to be too negative, considering it's Thanksgiving this Thursday, gobble gobble, is that there are events that this county holds, like up in Concrete with the Irish dancers, and then there's this Irish guy up 7 till 9 o'clock in Concrete. I can't attend because I have no transportation to get home. Then there's another event that was recently held at the Lincoln Theater about dams. I couldn't attend because the event started at 7 o'clock. The last bus out of Mount Vernon, downtown Mount Vernon home, leaves at 8. These are issues that the Skagit Transit Board needs to be made aware of. And I also want to say this with 40 seconds left, that both Representative Sam Lowe and Senator Liz Lovelet testified on the legislative floor in support of this legislation, and both of them know of my interest and would like to see this on the Skagit Transit Board agenda for next month. So with 20 seconds left to go, I want to wish all of you a very happy Christmas, happy Thanksgiving, and a Merry Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays. And hopefully we'll see some action here, whether or not it's a resolution at the next Sedro-Woolley meeting or a pledge to force the issue of scattered transit. We do need to get this resolved because in the nearest future. My time's up. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Anybody else who'd like to give public comment?
Philip Murray, 101 West Woodworth, Sedro-Woolley. I've lived here for 25 years now, and I can't understand why the city has taken out the railroad tracks between Eastern Street now and my place. You've created traffic going through there. You've also created kids coming over there and doing Brodies. It's been about 5 times this year. This time they threw rocks all over my cars, and they landed up in my trailer that is about 5 feet off the ground. It's just getting absolutely ridiculous. There's no police out there at night. They're not patrolling. There's cars squealing all over town at night. I hear it all the time, and nothing seems to be getting done. You have, 3 police officers on duty usually? And what can I do? People are driving through there all the time. It's not the city's property. And you're encouraging this by taking the tracks out and grading it, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Please make it stop. It's up to you. Sometimes I think I'm just talking to a wall, and you should be wearing my shirts, and I should be wearing yours. Do something. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Phil. Anybody else who'd like to give public comment?
Hi, my name's Matthew Martin. Live at 1023 Nelson Street. I sent an email to you, police chief. You guys obviously read it. I got the records request finally today. Obviously, there's a timeline. I understand that. But I'm going to read my email out loud. It says, Dear Mayor Johnson, Chief, sorry, I can't pronounce your name.
McElwraith.
McElwraith, gotcha. And members of the City Council, I am writing to request your urgent attention regarding a critical rat infestation that poses a significant threat to the safety and well-being of my family, as well as the integrity of our property within Sedro-Woolley. Despite numerous reports of the city's code enforcement office, this issue remains unresolved and has continued to deteriorate, resulting in extensive property damage, unsafe living conditions, and considerable distress for my family. Over recent months, rats have tunneled beneath our property, damaging our shop's foundation, electrical wiring, and the estimated repair costs now exceed $10,000. The ongoing problem continues to represent serious health and safety hazards. There have been multiple incidents where rats have entered our home, literally came up in through our floorboard into our garbage can, like within 24 hours. They're frightening our young children and necessitating temporary evacuations during repairs. The source of the infestation appears to be a neighboring property that qualifies as rat harborage under RCW 8.16.020 Part K. There are also at least 9 chickens kept directly against our shared fence, potentially in violation of RCW 6.20.030 and RCW 6.20.050 Part B. Despite multiple reports and remedial action has been taken to address this situation. Furthermore, during a recorded call with the city's code enforcement officer on September 16th at 9:30 a.m., I was informed that certain codes cannot be enforced and if they are out of the public eye, and the statement raises concern as it suggests enforcement may be applied inconsistently rather than in accordance with established ordinances. And I obviously got a copy of the transcript today, and as a resident and taxpayer, I'm formally requesting that the city conduct a thorough investigation of this matter, enforce all applicable health and property maintenance codes, provide a written response outlining
It's okay, go ahead and
Okay.
continue.
outlining the specific steps the city steps the city will take to resolve this issue, and ensure consistent enforcement moving forward. You guys have anything for me?
No, it's just public comment, so thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Anybody online? Not seeing any, we will move on to the next item, which is ordinance 210925, which is the 2026 budget amendment, and this is a second read. And Kelly?
Good evening, council. So the city has an approved 2026 budget we passed in November of 2024. So as part as the 2025-2026 biennial budget, we're required to do a review and update between September 1st and December 31st of this year. So we're doing that update. We held a public hearing at the last council meeting on November 12th. A couple of things we highlighted last time. We've updated the indirect cost allocation for all of the applicable funds. And all funds that have wages and benefit expenditures have also been updated with our estimates. Wage tables increased anywhere between 2% and 4%, and medical benefits increased 8.7%. We made a couple of adjustments from the first read. So at the November 5th study session, council approved $40,000 from housing funds and $40,000 from the general fund be contracted to two groups, as we just discussed, Helping Hands Food Bank and Family Promise. All that has been updated in the budget amendment. We added an additional 1 FTE for stormwater as approved by council at the last meeting based on the stormwater management plan. Last meeting, council also voted for the 0% increase in property tax. That's been taken into account. And we've also made a reduction in the part-time firefighter salary line based on 2025 projected expenditures, so reevaluating what we anticipate for 2026. And then, so the attached or the proposed budget in the general fund is balanced with the exception of the $40,000. So council approved that from the general fund fund balance. So that is included in there. Woody, if you could go to page 68. This is the same format that we presented at the last meeting, just presenting the budget in a couple different formats. So again, this document shows what we project our 2026 cash and investment balance to be in each fund, and then our budgeted revenues and expenditures, resulting in a projected ending cash for 2026. And as you can see, the projected ending cash for all funds is positive. And then the next column just shows the current year revenues minus expenditures. And in some of the columns, the expenditures exceed the revenues, but there is sufficient cash balances in all those funds to cover those expenditures. On the next page, again, similar to last time, we have a summary of the proposed changes, including the items we changed from last time. And we've also included here just a further breakdown from our accounting system on page 71 of the proposed changes to 2026 budget. We've also included in the packet the FTE count. The only item that has changed in there is the 1 FTE for stormwater. And that's all I have for you.
Okay. Any questions for Kelly? I don't see any lights on.
Mine's on.
Is yours on? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Councilman Lavaca.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So Kelly, I was just wondering, we're looking at the 2026 budget, and I think I've asked this before, but we're just on it, and we are tracking for 2027, 2028. But when we do the budget, isn't it usually a 3-year span that we're doing the budget to when we're actually passing our budget outside of the amendment process? But when we develop a budget, here's a 3-year budget. And then so, if I remember correctly, we were using our excess to cover charges in 2027 and then 2028, or we were using projected revenue. I don't think we were using projected revenue from those years to cover balances, but we were using excess to cover that. Is that a correct way to look at that?
The city has a biennial budget, so it's 2
2 years,
years.
okay.
And then we update, we kind of update then each year separately. So we don't yet have a budget for 27, 28. We'll actually start that process pretty early in 26 because it'll be a brand new budget, not just an amendment budget. So for now, we're only looking at 1 year. We're just looking at 2026. The second part of your question is, I don't know if it has to do with the fund balance, but anytime expenditures exceed revenues, we're using fund balance in that fund to pay for that difference. And the majority of the time, we only do that for funds that they're set up that way. Like the real estate, like Fund 301 is the real estate excise tax. We get that money in multiple years, and we spend it on specific projects. So the year-to-year revenue and expenditure doesn't have to balance out. There just needs to be enough funds in that fund to pay for the planned projects.
Okay, Councilman Koch?
Yeah, hi Kelly, thanks for doing all this good work. I just had a quick question under, I don't know if I have this right, number 331, under police hiring. Who was that grant from? Do you know? Was it feds or state?
The COPS grant,
Yeah, COPS grant.
feds, federal.
Oh, it was a federal grant.
Yeah. We haven't utilized that yet. We haven't hired in that position, but we hope to do so in 2026. And then we would potentially receive that money over 3 years.
Is that potentially, can that be used for the SRO position?
No.
No. Oh, because that's already dedicated funding, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But it might be able to be used for a police officer that is in place, and then we'd have an officer for SRO, right?
We would hire one more officer.
Right, it's
and
meant for an additional position.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Henderson, do you have a question? Okay, how about Councilman Lloyd? Do you have a question?
No, at this point, I think I'm looking good. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right, so it looks like we're looking for a motion. Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilman Burns, seconded by Councilman Koch, to approve ordinance 210925, the 2026 budget amendment number 1. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Very good, motion carries. Okay, now we will be going into closed session. I'm not sure, how long do you think we need for this?
I don't think it'll be long. I'm not sure that we need for this, but I'm going to go with, what do you think, Nikki? 5, 10 minutes?
Yeah, we can just say 5, well, we can say 10 minutes because this is not like executive session where we have to stay in the entire time because it's a closed session.
Perfect.
So we'll just say 10.
10 minutes, okay, it's 6:45, and we hope to be back here at 6:55.
Yeah, I thought I'd get all. I don't know, Henderson got muted again somehow. I'm going to call him for this,
Okay.
but he did vote in favor, he said.
Okay.
Hey, Kelly. Henderson was, was muted. Oh, that's cool. Early, but he got it. Hey, Alan, we're just making our way through. Sorry about that. Oh, not your fault. I saw your message there. Sorry.
Are you serious?
He left after 1 year because he
Because it was too nice?
no, because it's horrible.
Oh, yeah, that's why I mentioned it.
Sorry.
Yeah. I got two granddaughters, and one in the middle school, one in the high school, so. Yeah. I want that SRO too.
Okay, it is 6:56 and we are back, and we are now going to discuss the collective bargaining agreement 205 to 2025 through 2027, the Sedro-Woolley Public Safety Guild Police Commission. So I believe Charlie or Nikki, who's going to be leading this one?
Yeah, we can jump in there. Kelly graciously put this on the agenda for us, so we appreciate that, right up on that, and did a lot of the financial work behind the scenes. She always does that for us. Yeah, this is a new bargaining agreement with the Sedro-Woolley Public Safety Guild. And, you know a fair amount about this because we've been negotiating it for quite a while at this point. The financial impacts of this contract are reflected in the budget for 2025 and also 26 and 27. And we'd be happy to take any questions if you have them at this point.
Are there any questions for Charlie or Nikki? Okay, hearing none. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to
I'll second
approve this.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion by Councilman Cox and by Councilwoman Diamond to approve the attached summary and discussion of the budget impact and the changes. Let's see here, how am I going to say this? To the collective bargaining agreement. So the motion to approve collective bargaining agreement to the Sedro-Woolley Public Guild for commissioned employees. There we are. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Moving on to the next item, which is Resolution 117125. It's the 2026 master fee schedule. Kelly.
Good evening, Council. So this is a first read. We update the master fee schedule annually. So this is the update to be effective January 1, 2026. Just have a list here of items that have been updated. We updated the utility rates for solid waste and sewer based on the August to August CPI of 2.8%. Also updated the stormwater rate 5% based on what council approved on November 12th as part of the stormwater management plan. We have updated impact fees to the June to June CPIU, which is indicated in the municipal code. The body worn, that should be warm, worn with an N, sorry about that. Camera redaction fee has been updated to reflect 2026 projected hourly rates. The ambulance service fee has been updated based on an interlocal agreement that outlines the fees for the next couple of years. We've added something on there. We frequently get questions about this. It's documented it's included in the municipal code, but thought it would be a good place to include the utility taxes for water, cellular, cable, electricity, and natural gas, just as one easy place for people to go and look that up, or for us to look that up when someone calls. And then we have updated traffic impact fees based on the Federal Highway Administration's National Highway Construction Cost Index, which is at 3.167%. And we've included in here the master fee schedule. Green is the new fee, and on the side, red is the current fee from 2025. We've made no updates to any of the other fees, no updates to park or shelter facilities, cemetery, and some of the other miscellaneous fees.
Councilman Cock, you have a question?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay, Councilman Lavaca?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you for working on this for sure. I had a couple of questions. Everything looked like it just went up just a little bit, like pretty much average, very small amounts, 33 cents to 65 cents, things like that. The ambulance fees, they went up pretty substantially, but maybe Chief Wagner can remind me of why those went up pretty good. I was wondering about the utility taxes too, the rate in green for the 6%, cell phone, cable television, things like that. I didn't really understand why that's on there.
Those aren't new. Those are in the municipal code, but we frequently get questions about them. So we just included it in the fee schedule.
But what are they again? So we're getting an additional tax for having the cell phone service and having the
provider pays for those.
Okay, so it's included in our bill to the provider, but that's the city set fee to have the cell phone towers and things around, have the services in the city. Well, that makes sense.
Right.
the ambulance service fees, Chief?
Yeah, I think we covered this the night that you were not here. The county did, we have an interlocal agreement with the county that we have to have the same exact rates for the entire county, whether we're Anacortes Fire or us or Mount Vernon, Burlington, or Concrete's Arrow Skagit. They did a study for all of the region, and we were a little bit behind from what we had, because this was a 6-year program from the last one that we did. The actual increases in this really don't make a change for the consumer as far as the resident or the user, because all of the funds pretty much are based on what they're going to pay no matter what. So we have an insurance provider say we send them a bill for $2,500. They have a set rate what they're going to do anyway, because that's the way Medicare, Medicaid, and the insurance providers have. So this is just to keep us up, so we're not doing a massive increase like we used to do, because I think there was a time where we didn't change the county fees for like 15 years, and then it's a major increase all at once. So to kind of stay with the times, they did a whole regional, or I think actually Systems Design, one of our billing companies that we use here in the Valley. They looked at all the providers, as well as the director of EMS, Josh Bologno, did a study to see where we were, and this is what they decided on, and we have to comply to continue to receive that revenue source from EMS as far as the county. So it's just a county resolution that we have to update each and every year.
Thank you for explaining that. That is quite the jump on all of it. The ALS 2 is surprising. I don't know, I was thinking that could have been a typo, $211 to $1,600, but I don't see how that's, is that correct?
Yeah, I think that should be 1,211
Okay.
to 1,604.
That would make a little bit more sense there, because I mean, we would use those services, or if they show up on scene and then we're just like, well, we'll write this bill up, but we really don't charge anybody yet, it would mess up the books for sure. And then the impact fee schedule on the bottom, there's no changes to that I saw, correct? The the building and planning engineering fee schedule?
No
That was the
changes in
same.
there.
All right. Thank you very much for allowing the question.
Councilman Loy or Councilman Henderson, do you have questions?
No, I think I have a grasp on it, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilman Henderson? He may still be having trouble with his mic. Okay.
Lots of trouble, I'm sorry. No questions from me. It's all pretty standard.
All right, thank you. Councilman Cock?
And so still for the utility fees and stuff like that, there's still a low income category too as well.
Correct.
Thank you.
Councilman Burns?
Doesn't look like we have more questions. I was going to make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 1171-25, 2026 Master Fee Schedule.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
second.
All right, so we have a motion by Councilman Burns, second by Councilman Henderson, to approve Resolution 1171-25. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay. Motion carries. Moving on to last item tonight is the 2025-228 IA. It's the Thompson, Gildner and Associates, Inc., Municipal Legal Support Services. It's the contract for our attorney and her business, Nikki Thompson. All right, so do you want to cover this, Charlie?
Yeah, I can go ahead and jump in there. This is a replacement contract for our city attorney, Nikki Thompson, and Thompson, Gildner and Associates, the firm that represents them. The reason why we're recommending a replacement contract is because the firm composition has changed a bit, the name has changed over time, and also the previous contract entered into in 2021 had a 3% escalator, but inflation has outpaced that. It started at quite a reasonably low rate of $200 an hour for attorneys for municipal services. That's now up to 218 for non-litigation work, and there was a split for litigation work that's up to 240. There's a breakdown in the memo of the current rate structure, but basically this looks to bring it up to a little bit more of a market rate consistent with Thompson Gildner and Associates, other clients, but also makes the contract much more consistent with the way the firm's currently structured. One of the benefits of this new approach is that in the old contract, we had limited rates applying to just certain staff at Thompson Gilder and Associates, and we found over time that the firm has grown. There are a variety of different staff options, and this now provides an hourly breakdown for a variety of different levels of attorneys, as well as paralegal support, legal investigator, and others. So that could be a real benefit to us. In being able to sort of pick and choose who we work with. The budget amendment the council just approved included additional funding in there for city attorney services that basically would cover this increase in what is recommended here. And it would adjust at 3% per annum, but now it's a little bit more caught up with market rates. That said, included in the packet was response that Thompson Gilder and Associates recently submitted to the city of Arlington and to an RFP for providing services there. And you'll see some of the other responses as well from Ogden Murphy Wallace, Kenyon Deasand, Lighthouse Law Group. I know Ogden Murphy Wallace and Kenyon Deasand. I've worked with both of them. They commonly work with cities as well, and they're significantly more expensive. So I still feel like the city's getting a really reasonable rate here in a whole variety of services. So. Council, we wanted to have this discussion with you because it is definitely time to update the contract and have this discussion. So we're bringing it forward to you now. And we received a request from Nikki Thompson, our city attorney, as well for this, and that's included in the packet also. So happy to answer any questions.
So if I just may add my 2 cents worth here. So having worked with both attorneys that were in office and attorney outside of office, which is what Nikki's firm is, I have to say that we have not seen any kind of a disruption in service. If anything, we have better service in that the law firm has other attorneys that work that specialize in other fields, which we've been able to take advantage of, which has been absolutely huge for the city, given the current state of things that are happening. So greatly appreciate Nikki and her team, greatly appreciate the service that they have provided for us thus far. And I hope the council will see the same. So, Councilman LaVaca?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. So it's pretty much a breakdown of an increase of about 50,000 for that year. That I understood
Yeah, it's
that,
about,
yeah.
I think about 20% increase is what we included in the budget amendment.
Okay.
So, yeah, roughly.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't, as far as reading through the other ones, Kenyon Deasand and those guys, I mean, we got a good attorney. I haven't had any qualms, and I don't know.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Kesty?
Thank you. I was just curious, and perhaps I missed something, but if at any time when we renew a contract or do we ever ask or do a request for anyone local to any firms around here to try to get our business, or do you just try and renew the contract that's here?
Yeah, the process the city for procurement needs to go through in like this case would be like a request for proposals kind of process, and that would be any firms could apply. And we have done that in the past with, I'm thinking Indigent Defense, for example. We advertised through the Skagit Bar Association and tried to find local firms as well that would respond, and nobody did. We ended up with a firm out of Whatcom County. So when we do go out for these things, we definitely do, go far and wide and local as well in looking for providers.
Okay, so that was done before this one too?
I wasn't here when Thompson Gilder and Associates was originally selected. The mayor may remember.
We did. We interviewed several.
Oh, I just meant because we're now going to be signing a contract and stuff. I didn't know if that would be the time to look into something like that.
That could be the time to look at something like that if the council felt that that was a need at this time. There's also a benefit to continuity in working with the same firm over a period of time. If we were to start with a new firm at this point, we'd be starting fresh, and there's a learning curve and kind of a ramp-up time to that as well.
I think in fairness to the directors, I know the directors have worked really well with Nikki. You can ask them if they have any qualms, but it has been a good fit for the city. So I don't know if any of the chiefs want to make comment or if Director Conklin wants to make a comment, but
I would just say that the partnership and the collaboration that we've had has been greatly appreciated, and it doesn't matter if it's Sunday night or on a holiday, we have someone that answers the phone and gives us the direction. And like I said in the past, sometimes it's that person on the shoulder that I don't want to hear the answer to that I know I'm going to have, but I need, that keeps us in line. So I have had nothing but positive experiences thus far.
And in our line of work, we need somebody that's responsive and answers our phone calls and answers our questions. We always need legal advice.
Ditto.
ditto, okay. All right, so, yes, Councilman Burns?
I'd be in favor of renewing the contract. I've been very happy with the service that this firm has provided. Nikki's always very responsive, so sure, sometimes you tell us stuff we don't want to hear, but that's your job, so I appreciate it.
Okay. And Councilman Koch?
Yeah, I just want to also say I think Nikki has provided excellent service in some tricky situations. Municipal law is something you probably have to develop a lot of expertise in over the years, and the fact that there's also some other lawyers we can tap in the firm, that also is a benefit. So I also support this.
Okay. And I cannot see the mics. Woody, can you move the names of our, so I can see it? So, Councilman Henderson, do you have comment or question?
Hey, Mayor. Yeah, real quick. So how long is this contract for?
So these contracts do not have an end to them. They continue to run. Unless there's a need to update them, then we would do that, make an amendment. There was an amendment made to this initial contract in 2022.
Yep.
And we have accounted for that through 26?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Lloyd, do you have question, comment?
No, ma'am, we're doing fine over here.
Okay. All right. So I'm actually looking for a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve 2025-228 IA Thompson and Gildner Associates Incorporated PS Municipal Legal and Support Services.
Okay. All right. So we have a motion by Councilman Burns, second by Councilman Koch. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Okay. One opposition, Councilwoman Kesty. Motion passes. Okay. That is all we have under new business. We do, however, have a closed session. Before we move into that, though, I am going to adjourn. I want to wish everyone a wonderful, joyous, and safe Thanksgiving. And we look forward to seeing you back here on the 3rd with us for City Council meeting. We are adjourned.